Welcome to Faith in Five with Cecil and Cecil. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and we're so glad that you're here to fellowship with us. All right, we're wrapping up today. We're kind of recording all these podcasts in one day, but this is going to be episode number 4, I believe, that we'll put out. And we're doing something a little bit special today. We are going to take a question from the book that was put together. I don't know who put it together, but Cecil Jr. wrote the book. It's basically a collection of his answers that to questions that he took in over his years of writing for the Magnolia Messenger. Is that right, Dad? Basically,
that is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So the way we're going to do this is, I think I've read through at least most of the book at some point in the past years, but it's been years since I've really looked into the book. So we're going to pick a question. We're going to answer the question ourselves, and then a week from now, we'll read Cecil Jr.'s how he answered it, and we'll see if there's any differences or what we take from his answer versus our answers. And please expect my answers to be a lot less philosophical than what we might hear from the older two Cecils. But nevertheless, we'll start out with reading. I'll read the question, and it does quote a scripture. So we'll have Cecil V read that scripture to us after I read the question. So I'll let Cecil III say more about this, but I think he just opened up the book basically, or kind of looked at a topic and just looked at the question. We have not looked at the answer that's been written in here. So this question is from Bible Questions and Answers by Cecil May Jr., and this is on page 281, and it's questions about Christian living. It's noted as question number 75. But the question is, please explain Matthew 7:12. Does it include everything or exclude anything? And this is regarding the golden rule. So we'll have Cecil V read that to us.
Daddy, is this the one?
That's it. Yep.
In everything, therefore, treat people the same way you want them to treat you, for this is the law and the prophets.
All right, perfect. So the golden rule, which we are all familiar of some of the golden rule or some paraphrase of it, but I'll let me answer first. So when I thought of this, I think maybe you even wrote the question a little bit differently before I even read it in the book in our emails of what we were going to talk about. But does the golden rule include everything, or does it exclude anything? And I guess if there's any caveat to the rule, is the way I'll approach it. I guess my one thought was, some people like to be told things in a certain way. Is there if there's something in somebody's teeth, does somebody want to be pulled aside and say, "Oh, hey, you got something in your tooth, you may want to get out"? Does somebody want it to be ignored and let them find out later? Do they not mind if you kind of say it in front of everybody, make a joke about it? So I would say, however you would handle that may not be how somebody else would want that handled. So I think there's some intention involved in here, and somebody may not do something that you would want done to you, but they may have the best intentions of doing it the way they did it. So maybe that's the one caveat I can think of for this. But in general, yeah, treat people like you would want to be treated. But also I think I've heard maybe there is even a saying of don't just treat people like you want to be treated, but treat people like they want to be treated. And I guess there's also some level too of maybe there's bad relationships where you can't afford to treat somebody the way that they want to be treated anymore, and because you've had to put some distance between yourself or something like that. So maybe there's some instances like that that came to mind when I was trying to think of what this person, and I guess talking about intent. I'm not sure what the intent of the question is either, and who that came from or why. But those are some of the things, some of the quick thoughts I had about it. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, you took that to an interesting place. My first thought was about the intent of the question. My thought was, what is this person trying to get out of?
Yeah.
What are they trying to avoid?
Yeah.
Asking if the golden rule is always inclusive or can it exclude anything? And so I tried to think about, what is the questioner thinking about?
Yeah.
And could see where, like, if I went and asked someone to give me $100, I would like for them to treat me like they would like to be. If they asked for $100, I guess they would like to receive it so they could treat me that way.
Yeah, yeah,
But and so so that scenario does let us know that there are some boundaries. But Jesus then, thankfully, Jesus addresses that very boundary in the same context, because this is in Matthew, and in talking about these things, and the golden rule: treat others as you would like to have them be, as you would like to be treated, loving your neighbor as yourself. In the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus also said, "Don't cast your pearls before swine." So, and so there are some people who would be abusive, and so we can practice some righteous judgment as we serve other people in that way. But I also um, have just been reading a book about our current culture, and the word that the author of the book is using, uh, his word is self-actualization, which is we tend these days to make everything about ourselves, and everything is supposed to be, I'll choose to do what I do based on what benefits me, rather than thinking about what benefits other people. So, uh, and so we do need to remember the golden rule and apply it. And so, what I was thinking about, I didn't try to think about how Dad would answer this question. It's going to be interesting to see how he did
yeah,
answer it.
yeah,
But I did think, when he did answer this question, it probably would have been 20, 30 years ago, that that was that was a less self-actualizing culture than what we are in now.
yeah,
But it's always been a challenge. Then 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and now, it's always been a challenge to put ourselves in another person's shoes.
yeah,
We tend to think about ourselves, our needs, our wants, who we are, how we like things. And Jesus challenges us in that golden rule to put ourselves, imagine ourselves as the other person, and put ourselves in those shoes. And that's a step in making decisions and in serving others that sometimes we skip.
yeah,
So
yeah,
so that's where I would go as an answer to that question. That yeah, there's some boundaries. Don't cast pearls before swine, but it is the law. It is the law on which hang all the law and the prophets.
yeah,
It's, all of God's instruction is
yeah,
about this: considering the other person and loving your neighbor as yourself.
yeah. All right. Well, I think that's a good place to stop. Join us next week. I wanted to say something about. Oh no, this isn't that. This is next episode. But join us next week for us, where we will read Cecil Jr.'s answer and compare it to our own answers, and see if we were thinking alike, if we were thinking differently, if there's something that maybe we missed. All right.
He was really good at answering questions, so I'm sure it'll be.
I know. I can't wait. All right. See y'all later. Thank y'all for joining in. Bye.